and tilted. The foundation is strong because Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all all right? I mean, what's really going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. You've tuned into Unhinged Live. I'm your host, Nikita Tilted Halo Hansford, and I'm sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC, and we have an exceptional conversation planned for you tonight. I am so excited about tonight's guest. Listen, we got to get you all familiarized with what's going to happen on tonight's show. But before I do that, I want to say welcome and thank you so much for tuning in. And to all of our replay viewers that are catching us at a later date and time, we appreciate you. And if you enjoy what you hear happening here at the Unhinged Live platform, do us a favor. Please share the show. You can share it on your personal pages. You can share it on your personality pages, because I know many of you have your own entrepreneurial pathways that you're following. So go on and lift us up as we continue to lift you all up, because you know that's what we live to do here at the Unhinged Live platform. We are professional networkers, aren't we, Karen?
We are.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So let's get into it. Of course, I'm going to get into this week's Superfan shout out, and then we're going to get into it with tonight's guest. And listen, I don't know if you saw the tagline I posted, but I need you to get your notebooks and I need to get your passport ready, because this conversation is going to be a ride. Ain't that right, Karen?
It is. It's going to be a ride. Buckle up, because guess who's driving?
Mike toss. That's right. That's right. I'm just, warming y'all up and welcoming you all into the room on tonight. But of course, you all know Karen is my favorite armor bearer. Did y'all know that? That's why we runs together the way we do, because she keeps me grounded, spiritually, and entrepreneurially. Did y'all also know that Twisted Threads has been a sponsor of Unhinged Live since day one? And it's a blessing for me to be able to share that. My best friend believed in the vision so much that she said, let me sow a little seed, sis, because I see what you're doing and I believe in what you're doing. And we already know what it is when you got that mustard seed faith, right? Here it is, 3 years later? That's right, 2023 Interstar Media Trailblazer Award winner. That would be me. And I'm grateful for that, because this show has never been about me, but it's always been about uplifting the voices of God's people, because they do amazing things. So I'm gonna stop talking and turn my attention to you, Karen. I gotta ask you how you're doing. Have you recovered from our fabulous Interstar weekend experience just yet?
I don't know if recovery is a word, but I definitely had an amazing time in my pop up and pop out of the valley. Had time to spend with the family, had time to connect with our tribe members, which is always a slamming good time. And also to support Jacinth Headlam and the Interstar award show that was this past weekend. And we stepped out. Like, if any of you are following us on our social medias, I need you to know, like, we Can I say it? I'm gonna say it. Like, we never do things just in a regular way, but we do it united as a unit because that's very important to us. You see, we all out here supporting Girl Talk Nails. See, you can even see the fabulosity. Listen, we a whole mess out here. I can't do nothing with it, but I'm cute. That's all I'm gonna say for that. And with the coordination, being able to encourage one another and to see all of the many creative and community leaders that came together for the event. We got a snippet of the Lion King performance. Man, oh man, it was like we went somewhere else. Like we were transported to another location. And so, we love us a good event. I promise that. Don't have time to recover. Last week, I was supporting you all. This week, I'll be supporting my husband in some travel ventures that he has. So y'all know if I go hard for you, I'm definitely go hard for him. Mr. Harold, aka his whole name, my husband. That's the only part that counts. I often say, oh, where do you want to see it? What are the things you're doing? The ball one belongs to me. That's all I can say to you on that one. So love the opportunity to support each other, get some pampering, celebrate each other, and celebrate all of the winners, right? Like we've been nominated for a few years. And although physically, right, we didn't take home the prize, we weren't worried too much about paparazzi because we bought our own. That's all I'm gonna say on that for right now. But y'all know how we roll when we roll, right? Every time there is somebody following us to want to get to know the actual story behind the story. And so stay tuned for all of the details with that. But super excited that I got one to spend time with you and our tribe in person. We're going to talk about the mints next week. Stay tuned because our tribe family is going to be on air next week. So for those of y'all in the comment section, make sure that your schedule is still clear for us to all come together as the tribe and just to share in the amazing experience that we had. But wait. I got my cake. Thank you, Rhonda. Can we just say that because that's a big thing? Shout out, G, we see you in the comments. Happy birthday. We got to give a happy birthday shout out to our illustrious security, our tribe mate, and just all around amazing guy, G. But yes, there was cake at several turns. I had carrot cake. I don't even know what the name of the cake that was, but it had like berries. Is it like a chantilly type cake going on? Honey, there was cake because when Coach show up, that's my tagline. I'm here for the cake. And so everywhere I was, there was cake. We had birthday cake. Okay, we good with the cake for right now. I got to go to the gym. Because there was literally cake everywhere I went. And so I'm excited about that. So Tilted, I got to turn it back over to you. You've had a very busy weekend. And I said to you while you was getting your boogie on our pre-show shenanigans that I may or may not miss production Keita right now. Because, she be hard on a sister. But as we prepare to have some conversations, are you okay? And how is production Keita doing right now that the production portion is over?
I put production Keita back in the box where she belongs until she needs to come out again. I'm not necessarily a fan of she. She comes out because she's always in the pursuit of excellence and how she produces what she does anywhere she's doing it. If as you said, Karen, when we come out unified. Yes. And that's another form of accountability. And there's, hey, why not show up excellent every single time? So it seems to be working though, Karen, because as you kind of tease there, we had somebody following us to kind of document this year's experience at the Innistar Trailblazer Awards just for the tribe. And, we're looking forward to sharing more of that with you all on future dates. But yeah, I'm okay. I did pretty well. While y'all was in y'all rooms, I was still up working and networking and having conversations. We managed to connect some dots. So I'm excited about the future of Unhinged Live, including every last one of the tribe, because you all are fabulously talented. I could not be blessed with a better bunch of people of God to work with. See, what you all see when we are all walking out there together, we are literally a walking joy tsunami, because this show is birthed and stoked in the power of prayer. Y'all already know what it is up over here. We love us some God. We some faith-filled believers over here, but we're also regular people living our lives out loud, just so you could see what walking in the spirit of joy boldly looks like. You can have a full and abundant life full of joy, laughter, dancing, because as the book of Ecclesiastes tells us, there is a time and a season for everything. And this has been a time of celebration for so many of us in the tribe. We are honored to share our joy with every last one of you. So I'm looking at the clock and I need to get some water real quick, because my voice kind of left me a little bit this weekend, Karen, and it's fighting to find its way back. And thank God for these vocal techniques I possess. I know how to breathe so I can sound halfway normal when I'm speaking. So I don't want to prolong the hour, Karen. I want to go ahead and get into this week's super fan shout out. So may I request a drum roll, please? DJ Cash. All right. Lean in, y'all. I got to talk about one of my other good praying girlfriends. This week's super fan shout out goes to none other, the incomparable Jacint Headlam. I got to give you a shout out, Jacint.
We're gonna take it up for that.
You know, every year we've experienced the Interstar Trailblazer Award ceremony. You've elevated it higher and higher. And I must say, sister girl, this year's award ceremony at the Archer, my goodness, girl, you took that up, not 10 notches, but 100. You had us all on 100 sitting there in the Archer, and you gave us an experience that people are still talking about in the streets. We understand as entrepreneurs ourselves, chasing basically the same dream, the sacrifice that goes into what it is you bring to the Lehigh Valley area and beyond year after year. So sis, we appreciate you. We appreciate your bold glow for God. We appreciate your talent. We appreciate the fact that you are not a gatekeeper in Jesus' name, but you've managed to put a collection of people together that will network and continue to branch out and grow the Interstar vision. We thank God for you and your exceptional ability to balance it all. As a superstar, you are a superstar, Jacint, and I'm grateful to be able to give you some verbal flowers here on the platform on tonight. I hope that you're somewhere resting, relaxing, and if you're not, I can imagine you are somewhere laughing, because you like to laugh a lot and your laughter is infectious. So God bless you. May he continue to shine his face on you and guide your feet with his grace, because we understand to whom much is given, much is required. And with every single level comes a new devil. So we thank you that God will continue to keep his angel army encamped around and about you as you rise and as you set and as you come and as you go. And not only will he keep those angels wrapped around you, he will also surround your children and everything that you all put your hand to call it blessed and success. We see what's getting ready to happen next, and it's bigger than what your mind can even wrap itself around, Jacint. Just know that you are well loved and appreciated here by myself, Coach Cash, and everybody here at the Unhinged Live platform. Would you like to add anything else to that, Karen?
I'm just glad that I had time to spend with her. You know, a lot of times it just is a refreshing thing to be able to have a smile, have the support that's around you, to the folks who know. right? Like it's a room full of people who know, and then there's a handful of folks who really know all that you have described. And it is never an easy task when we see somebody winning. You know, we are mature and well versed enough to know it costs something to be on a stage, right? Even if you just sitting on the sideline, it costs that person something. And so we are standing with you, we're praying with you, we are supporting you, but most importantly, we're loving and celebrating you, because not only did we have an amazing time, but you showed out for the community, and that is to be celebrated in every way that we can. And so I know where you're on your way to. So she's already on her way to another event in Grand Cayman somewhere, doing more, sharing more fabulosity, right? Talking about turning pain into purpose. And so when you are gifted and anointed for a thing, right? That's how we're going to get into it. And so I love it that we are kind of culminating right here, because this is a great place for us to get ready to talk a little bit to our guests. You know, I'm gonna try not to geek out and fan out, but I'm excited for this next leg of the conversation. So if you don't have your pen and your paper, go get them. If you didn't come with your passport when you press play, go get it, because we're about to go somewhere and we don't want you to miss it. All right. Tilty.
All right. So listen. Oh, I've been waiting to have this conversation with tonight's guest. When we were having the pre-show talk and getting, the particulars ironed out, she asked me a question about her title and how she should list herself on the show advertising. When I asked her, tell me what you want, I'm about to put it on. And she says, what? And I just said 3 words to her to describe exactly how I saw her. And that's what you all see. I know many of you all are familiar with Veronica Moore from the work she's done in the community through the business she runs exceptionally with her husband, the Taste Smokers in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. But there is so much more to this sister girl right here than just some good, delicious barbecue, all right? She is a mom. She is an author. She's an entrepreneur and activist. She is every woman. So I don't want to belabor the hour. Go ahead and bring our guest on into the studio, Karen. Veronica, thank you for joining us, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You are so very, very welcome. So, Karen, you know what I usually do to traditionally jump it off. Then I'll go ahead and
it's gonna be interesting, because I know what the plan is, and we're gonna see the real deal.
No. I'm gonna behave tonight, because remember, Production Keita is in the box where she belongs, and while I'm recovering with a whole lot of sense. Remember, you here to help, and I don't have a problem letting you shine. But girl, I gotta ask you, is there anyone that you would like to go ahead and acknowledge, Veronica, before we get into the conversation?
All right, we're gonna go take it to church. First, giving honor to
right, I got a church finger.
First, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. Oh, I thank you all so much for this opportunity. But no, for real, I gotta shout out God, because without that covering, all of those titles, all of those accolades, the way that you see me in the community and the way that I move, there would be no V without G-O-D.
Hey.
Okay? Period.
I love
Period.
it.
Right? So I have to give that acknowledgement. I also have to acknowledge my wonderful husband, who allows me to shine, who has supported every single venture, every single role, career-wise, entrepreneur-wise. He is amazing. He continues to support me as an artist himself, right? And so I have to acknowledge that a lot of the things that I am able to do, a lot of places that I'm able to be in, is because he has given and when I say permission, don't y'all get to acting all crazy, but as my husband who covers me, he gives me that permission and that opportunity to say, go ahead and be great, because he understands that there's a purpose over my life as well. And so I have to acknowledge that there would also be no V without the support of my other half. And so I appreciate that. And then, those who are listening and watching, I appreciate you. I got to shout you out, give you some acknowledgments as well, because, hey, y'all could be anywhere, but tonight y'all watching us on the show. So we will get unhinged.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And there's nothing like having a partner who just lets your soul glow the way that they do.
Oh, slow, so
That he
slow.
does. Yes, just let her shine through. So listen, I want to go ahead and ask you, Veronica, about your beginning, because we like to start about how it started and how it's going. We see how it's going, but many people may not know that you too are a transplant. So would you mind sharing with us your beginnings? Where did you grow up, and do you have any pets? Do you want to talk about your family, any children that you might have? How did you end up in the Lehigh Valley, girl?
Girl, listen. We're gonna take you there. I'm originally from Chicago, Windy City, proud Chicagoan over here, right? Born and raised. I will always rep my city. So that's just that. I'm from Chicago, definitely Lehigh Valley transplant. What got me to the Lehigh Valley is actually an internship that I had as a part of my graduate program in the summer of 2006. I wanted an opportunity to go and experience another institution of higher education. So my background is education, but I didn't want to be around those students because they wore me raggedy for the academic year. So I was like, I'm gonna need an internship where I ain't got to be managing no college kids because they got on my last nerve. So that intentionality, though, right, was purpose driven. It gave me an opportunity to intern at a local college. A local university. Lehigh is where I started my higher education career as an intern first, and then as a full-time professional in 2007. So that is what got me to this area, right? I was with my now husband then, and he moved out here in 2008. Fast forwarded a couple of years from me being at Lehigh. I also went to Temple University in Philadelphia and expanded my career there. Had some wonderful opportunities, met some amazing folks. And that was a pivotal transition for me because it was also the very moment in which I experienced being a mother. So I had my first child as I was commuting from the Lehigh Valley to Philadelphia every day. Every day. Yeah, every day. Sometimes on 309, sometimes on that broke down Beaver bus that don't even exist no more. And I say broke down because we would be on the Schuylkill broke down sometimes, right? But I was pregnant with Hunter during that time, all 9 months. And I mentioned that because it was at that point in time where I realized it is so much more to life than this career. I have been career driven for a very long time, wanted to achieve certain levels so that I could have the life that I have right now. So I always have to attribute my entrepreneurship to my higher education career because it was during that time that I learned the ropes, that I understand how to advocate for myself, that I understood how to go into other communities and provide value, right? But it was also during that time where I was like, I want more. I have a whole child now. I want more. I don't want to be driving to Philadelphia every day. I do not want my child to be in daycare and not see me most of the day. I want to work from home. Now, I was speaking all of these things, but they weren't set up yet until an opportunity came for me in 2016 where I was approached for a job opportunity, a current opportunity that I'm still in today. So some of y'all don't know, your girl still got a 9 to 5 that's fueling the dream, okay? Strategic. And I enjoy it, right? So it's not like I'm just sitting around like, I'm just going to do this because, but I have to attribute it to that. But I knew that I didn't want that for my life. I didn't want that for my daughter. So I said, you know what? I want to work from home. And I am going to find a way to make that happen at some point in time. I'll fast forward through that conversation because I don't want to put nobody on blast. But there was a certain accommodation I was asking for in that time at Temple that I was not afforded. And I said, okay. And in my mind, I said, I'm done here. But then that opportunity that I told y'all about that I'm currently in right now came about. And my supervisor said, can I afford you? I said, you're going to let me work from home because I'm not moving in. And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. So all of these things are happening, right? And I'm able to send in that notification that I ain't going to be here. No. Okay. So that was 2016. You know, if you want to fast forward a couple of years after that, is when my husband had his transition and said, I'm done going into toxic workplaces. I want you all to trust me. I want you to provide an opportunity for me to see what's possible for my family. And I'm going to start something. Been cooking for years. Our family knows about barbecue. That's a huge crux on what it is that we're about with family gatherings. And he said, you know what? I'm going to start this. And he said, all right, that's what we're about to do. 2018 was the genesis of the Tastmakers, right? We are celebrating 7 years this month. October of 2018 was the moment in time where everything was put on the line to say we don't have an opportunity to fail. We don't have that's not what we're going to be thinking about. We have a family. We need to build upon that with our family.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to trust God. 2018 to 2021. Y'all know what happened in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, when I tell you we were like, okay, are we going to make it through this? God said yes. The community said yes. The community rallied around us to make sure that we would survive. They made sure of it. If there was not a point in time where the Lehigh Valley came together and fought for small businesses, that is definitely the time. And we saw what was possible, right? We saw what was possible in 2020. We went into 2021 with an opportunity that was brought our way that I was kicking and screaming. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I told my husband from the jump, I want a brick and mortar. We're just going to keep on popping up. Where we're going to pop up, we're going to keep on going to the breweries. We're going to keep on doing catering. We're going to keep on going to these other places that people want us to come to. We're going to keep on doing the festivals. I don't want a brick and mortar restaurant. But of course, he was thinking in his head, but my wife has told me for years that she wants space. She wants an event space. She wants an opportunity where she can host her own things and be able to provide space for other people to host their things too. Right? So me, short-sighted, like, But the opportunity was presented to us. My husband said we will not operate in the what if. If it's meant to be, it will be. And we will take this blessing that's in front of us that you're seeing as a challenge, but I'm seeing as a blessing, and we're going to do it. 2021, the Tastmakers, 318 East 3rd Street. That is where we are currently. Listen, there's so much that's happened in between those dashes, right? But if I'm talking about the season that we're in right now, the sacrifices, the challenges, y'all see all of those other titles that are on the screen. But when I tell you about the story, the testimony from 2000, I'm going to say 2017, from the beginning before we even knew, 2016 actually, before we even knew that the Tastmakers were going to be a thing, when we were serving the community, when we were putting on fundraisers for turning point of the Lehigh Valley, 6th Street Shelter in Allentown. Before we even stepped foot into going to get a pit to smoke some meat, we were already serving our community. So where we are right now is crucial. It's absolutely crucial to our continued growth and development, our ability to overcome obstacles, our ability to continue to fight as Black businesses in the Lehigh Valley, Bethlehem specifically, and to actually see, will the community show up again? But now, will you show up for a very different reason?
I love it.
I'm sure we're going to get into that.
Listen, we getting into it right now. You know, you said so much in you sharing your testimony, and I think one of the things that resonated was you giving yourself the opportunity to, you say kicking and screaming, but it's like, no, I don't really want this. But sharing vision in space with someone who is a visionary, right? Everybody ain't married to a visionary. If you got a visionary in your corner, go ahead and take a sip of water, because hunty the ride sometimes. But while you were supporting your family business, right, there were also other passions that were coming about. So can you talk to our folks a little bit about how even during that time you were juggling, well, and I also want to do this, and I also have another title, and I all like the and how did you manage yourself during the and I seasons, between those dashes up until now?
You know, as I reflect on it now, I could have done better. There were lots of things that got in the way of me paying attention to the present and what even more could have been, right? As a creative being by nature, I have been this way since I was a little girl. My mother told me when I was 3, I had all types of plans. I'm going to high school, and then I'm going to college, and then I'm going to move away from here.
There you go.
She's like,
Where you going?
Where you going? You can't even go nowhere yourself. Where you going? But I say that to say I've always been an ambitious soul. And creating is something that fuels me. It absolutely fuels me. But there was a point in time where I was serving too many other folks, right? Giving, being depleted of myself and my household. So it's like, so what's going to give? What is going to give? And that opportunity to reflect came to me during 2020, the first pivot. Karen, you know, when I was doing Alma and Eva personal development coaching from 2016 to
20,
right? 2016, 2020. So I didn't expect to sit myself down during the pandemic. I didn't know that what I was planning, this elaborate opportunity for women to understand their passion and their purpose and to put it into action, was going to be stripped away from me, because there was another thing that needed to ground me, literally, no pun intended. I needed to be able to sit down and reflect on, what do you need right now in this moment in time, right? And for me, it was getting back to a lot of childhood activities and opportunities. Insert brown skin plant mama, right? That allowed me to heal myself from the tragic loss of my sister in 2018. It took me 2 years to get through that. But had that not happened in 2018, would I be here now talking about all the opportunities that come with nature and plants, the healing, the personal development, the reflection that comes from that? So while I can say that I was not managing it well prior to 2020, right? Because again, I told you all, I was very career oriented. I needed to have these things in place. But that drive did put me somewhere because it does have me in a position to say, I can work from home. My employer supports everything that I do with that job, but also they know about the taste smokers. They know about brown skin plant mama. I can come into work and they asking me about these things, not just about who I am to them in that role, right? But juggling all of those things came at a cost. They came at a cost for me mentally. They came at a cost for my relationship, right? And until I had an opportunity to sit down and say, what has to give? What do you have to give up? And I had to give up yes.
Woo, girl.
I told you. I told you.
I had to give up
No,
yes.
that
has
is
access to me.
yeah. We told y'all get our passports, and this is the reason why. So cheat code. Veronica and I worked together back in those earlier years of 2000, whatever them years was, 7, 8, all of the things before I moved. And so I've watched you from strictly career oriented. And I always knew it was like, these kids ain't gonna get on my nerves. I know I'm gonna help y'all graduate and y'all gonna get some degrees, but y'all not gonna get on my nerves while you doing it. But always showing up in excellence, traveling through saying, I want to change, right? And it never was like a loud public thing for you. It's like you've always been a person of, oh, there she is. Not too many announcements. That's not who you are, right? It's like, I'm over here. I'm over here. And so when you say I had to give up, yes, and had to give up access, I just know that there is somebody in our viewing audience right now who has not been delivered, because I'm going to say it just like that, has not been delivered from the burden of having to say yes to everything. And you did it with such excellence, right? It wasn't a big announcement. We was ready, had the headshots. We was ready in 2020 for something else. And then that pull that came, and understanding that it was a process. The people who had seen you through the years and knew who you were, right? Even if they didn't know your silent pain and your silent challenges, it was your integrity that was able to say, well, whatever she doing, okay, well, that was my thing. I know I wasn't the only one. I'm going to say it that way. Whatever she is doing right now, it will be amazing. And then you come to that other side. But talk to our sisters and brothers who have not yet been delivered from having to say yes, and what that process has. You don't know. You just dropped a bomb, like literally with that one sentence.
So I'm going to put out a challenge. Both of y'all know I'm not really, I don't sugarcoat much. So what I will say, if you have not been delivered from the yes, what is it going to take? Are you going to suffer? Are you going to continue to suffer? Are you going to continue to put others before your own needs? Because listen, sacrifice and not saying yes, two totally different things. But something has to give. So what you going to put on the chopping block? Your relationship, your connection with your children, your connections with people, your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Whom are you serving so freely that yes is coming easily? Who are you serving so freely that yes is coming so easily? Because if you were serving, right, that higher power and innately yourself, then those priorities would not be a tussle for you. The need to be accepted, the need to be liked, the need to be appreciated, the need to be belonging to something, comes at a cost if you are not serving yourself first. Period. You're going to run yourself down to the ground if you keep on saying yes to everything and everybody. Your soul needs to be fed first, right? That's why you don't have folks who are not connected spiritually with our higher power, praying over you, connecting with you. Like, y'all, it's pretty simple and you making it hard. Talking to you because I had to talk to myself. I ain't saying that because I ain't said it to myself. But you're connecting yourself to the wrong things and people, right? Covering is important. And when you have the right covering, folks within your circle in your life, those no's become easier, right? Why? Because you're paying attention to who's around you and you're saying, man, they said no real quick. One of my best girlfriends, I love her. She is my big sister. Y'all know her. She's in your tribe. Shelby has taught me, oh, baby, I'll be like, oh, I know how to say no. Okay, because we share a lot of time together, but it's because I have those examples in front of me that show me what comes with the no. What then comes with the no? What am I able to receive now because of the no? So if you need to still give up some things in order to not continue to say yes, write those things down. Evaluate your circle. Evaluate who you're spending your time with.
Ooh.
Energy is real, y'all. Energy is real.
Can I interject something here? Because I'm about to just throw a shoe at the laptop that I'm talking to you through. Listen, I spent the better part of the first half of this year just speaking that within the tribe. You know, I got to audit my circle to make sure that the energy I have around us, not just me, but the energy I have around us as we move the platform to where I see or feel God taking us, we got to have a clear frequency over here. And it has to really be in sync with the spiritual aspect of this entrepreneurial journey, because I don't know not nairn entrepreneur in our circles, and we run it in the same circles quite often. I don't know not nair one that don't pray and have a side hustle to fund the vision. But that's a whole nother piece of the conversation. Surrounding each other with people who have a praying mindset, who understand what it is when I jump and cut the conversation off as you're sharing with me, and I just cut right into prayer. Having the people around you that understand when you're getting ready to elevate and can sense it in the frequency that right now you need somebody warring for you. So you have the protection and the surrounding of your fellow sister and brother believers to go ahead and walk that path that God has predestined for you. Let me go ahead and hush. I'm sorry.
Thank you, girl. You see, I'm starting.
We both got that mother rock. I got fans all around me. So
listen, I'm very appreciative that in this season, right, as we are sort of ending out the year, this season, although we're not going to talk about the cuffing season that we're about to enter, we're going to talk about we usually take time to reflect, right? When we're about to turn that back or whatever is getting darker earlier, we got more time to sit with ourselves if we're doing it right, okay? And understanding what did our year comprise of, right? What do we say yes to? What are the things in the last less than 90 days of the year that we still are saying yes to? What are the things that just a powerful statement of what will you receive from saying your no, right? And a lot of times we see saying no with such a negative connotation. I do also believe that it also comes with that wisdom with time and titles. And I say time as we celebrate some more birthdays and realize, you know what? We need to do some things and prioritize ourselves. So I love what you were saying about what you will receive from saying no to somebody else. I'm working remotely. I tell everybody connected to me, my DNA is changing. I'm out in the country. I don't know. I follow this country man literally out in the country. But there is something that happens when you have the opportunity to take the time, right? Many of us are waiting for the time to manifest itself. It ain't coming. I need you to know that if you do not, as you've already said, V, if you're not prioritizing yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. So the time that you think is coming is going to pass you by until you literally take the opportunity to stop the clock on that. And I want to talk a little bit about just that centering, right? And how beneficial that you feel like that centering and taking that time has been for you. Because I feel it specifically that many of us are arguing with ourselves. Yup, you the crazy bag lady, yelling at yourself for the decisions that you've made on, well, I should be doing this and I should be doing that, versus the benefits of following kind of just what your heart is telling you, what you are receiving as you're thinking about that energy transfer.
What did I receive? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Ooh, clarity, permission. Ooh, permission to let go of what I might think I need and move towards what my body, my mind, my spirit is absolutely telling me that is crucial. You don't get to determine what you will do, right? When you are a person who's connected to God and believe that you have a calling over your life and a purpose over your life, y'all, there were so many times. I'm going to give y'all a good example. And I think I said this to you all on a call. I went through working on my children's book, right? My children's book was so special to me. It was a healing journey. It was allowing me to get over the grief of suddenly losing my mother. When I tell you my soul was snatched out of my body. So for me, I was like, this is a precious gem. This process is precious. It is not meant to serve nobody but me. I'm going to release this book and I'm going to keep it moving. And I'm going to share this process with other people so they can see what's possible. And then my niece was like, you should help other people write their book. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to help nobody write their book. That ain't what I did this for. I am not about to coach nobody to write their book. I don't coach folks enough. No. You want to make yourself laugh? Tell God what you not finna do. Because I was like, I'm not finna do nothing.
You had a little neck shake talking to the Lord. You had to.
Right. I'm not finna do that.
And the eyes. I love it.
Because I keep it real, God. I be like, I don't do
That's
that.
not my jam, Lord.
Right. That's not what I'm doing.
Dear Lord, this is ghetto. Get me out of this.
I don't want to be bothered with people.
I'm like, you don't even know. Oh, they people too much, Father. You see me in the middle of the room
I
to talk to.
want that. I don't want that. And God was like, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you in your ear, okay? Every single time I would share, oh, can you help me with this? Oh, wow. Do you think that you could teach that? Oh, I have a question about this. Oh my God, I loved your process with your book. And I was like, all right. Well, I guess I need to realize that while you were going through your own little thing, Veronica, you were still serving other people. You were still serving other people. You were still showing people what was possible. So your life is not your own, V. How many times I got to tell you, your life is not your own. It's not for you to benefit from. It's for you to continue to be the servant that I have required of you, right? So being still and seeing those opportunities to just be and not move so much, listening to what the call is and knowing for sure that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Versus, oh, that would be cute. I think that's right. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. No, purposeful. You said no to these things. So I'm going to make it crystal clear to you what you need to be saying yes to. And that's continuing to serve people. That's continuing to show people the power of God and what's possible. That's continuing to use your life struggles as you see them and your losses as opportunities for other folks to find hope, right? All of my hardships that I've ever had, I've always been positioned to find a way to show people, even though that is happening, even though you may have experienced something similar, there is a God that is more powerful, more precious, that is so gentle with you and your precious little heart that this is the meantime, right? This is the meantime. So sometimes you just need to be still. Be still. And my friend sent me this video today, and it was like, y'all need to meditate, and you need to understand that meditation don't mean that you're going to be all at peace and quiet. That's when the stuff come up that you need to deal with, that you need to sit with, right? The same way that when we serve and when we need to pray and all the things come up, and we like, oh my goodness.
Yep.
There's power in sitting with yourself. So much power.
Yes. If I could interject something here, I recently had a conversation with my daughter about being still with yourself, and gave a vivid description of what happens, and you just confirmed it here on the platform. When I'm still just sitting in that, because I have a rocking chair, and I come home and I got to sort through what I'm responsible for and what I need to do before the sun goes down, and I lay down. I just sit there and I listen to my thoughts, and I'm able to identify the voices that are not telling me the truth about who God says I am, and get them out real quick, because the battlefield in any situation that we encounter in life absolutely begins in the mind and what we believe about ourselves. So meditation has the word in itself. Some people have taken it and say, oh, that's too new age, you ain't supposed to be doing it. Well, how else are you supposed to tap in?
That's a fact.
The power of God that rests within you. You've got to be able to identify the voice of God when you hear it instantaneously, so you don't miss it. And I know that that's what being still has been for me. Be still and know that I am God, that I am. I am everything that God says that I am. I am everything that he says I can be. And as long as I take one step, he's walking beside me to it and through it.
Absolutely. People are afraid. Let me tell y'all something. If you are afraid to be by yourself, if you are afraid to sit in silence with nothing in the background, nothing around you, I challenge you. Find you an accountability partner if you need to, because that can be scary for some people. I'm not putting that out there as though it is something that's easy to do. If you seriously have an issue with that, but what I will say, that the reward is so amazing. The reward is so worth it. The pain, the pressure, the tears, the laughter that comes from that, the release that you experience because you are able to witness yourself with nobody around but you, God, and the ancestors. Listen, do it, y'all. Please, 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 please gift yourself that.
I love it. I love it. Listen, all of the wonderful things. we got stuff to do,
We're in
right?
the coaching session right now. If y'all
This
didn't,
is, and I need y'all to know, right? We were teasing about it, but when Veronica says that she is coaching people on how to write a book, this is our literary coach right here, right? Signing all the contract, paying all the bills. Don't worry about it. This is our literary coach, because not only because we watched her do it, but the genuineness that comes when you have a session, and this wasn't meant for a commercial for anybody else, because she ain't taking all y'all. Let me just say that. Like,
And not.
I told you she know how to say no, right?
and won't.
But the thing is this, like, many of us are not moving forward with the thing that God keeps telling us, because we don't have a partner just to hold us accountable, right? And maybe that's not you to say, oh, I need a literary coach. I got a coach for everything. I need you to know, okay? For everything. If it's something that I need to do, if you saw me do it well, odds are I partnered up with somebody, because I'm not trying to make my life hard. Like, listen, you are even down, I tell it often, salary negotiation with my current job. My sister was my salary negotiation coach. Why? Because she worked for corporate and she don't care nothing about what they say they gonna pay. Right? She don't care nothing about that. Like, oh no, y'all run me that check. And the Veronica that's on the YouTube channels of the Here's My Invoice, that is my sister. Okay, in real life. She like, I'm gonna train who for free? No, just no. But when you think about all of the different ways that life just challenges us to try to do it without a little help from your friends, a little help from your circle, just is asinine. Can I just say it that way? It is upside down foolish, and you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. I know we had a bunch of stuff that we were like, and we're gonna hit this and we're gonna talk about that. Listen, we had a plan, and I'm laughing right now, like, oh Lord, you right, Lord, because we made plans, because we professionals over here. I need you to know we let our guests know these are the topics so that you could, feel free to flow in that. But I feel a flow right now that ain't like nobody's business. And we weren't teasing when we said this is like a coaching session. But I want y'all in the comment, if you've got a question, share it with us so that you don't have to. Listen, we're here for 90 minutes usually. We don't want this to be 90 minutes, you wasting your time. We appreciate you coming over here because y'all love us. We love you all too. But the purpose of this entire platform is for you all to leave this time better. And we would be remiss if we just kind of funnel it on through to the next thing without taking the opportunity to say, what is it that our audience needs? What is it that you've been longing for, right? Many of us belong to the faith community, but some of y'all don't go. That ain't my business, right? You like, no, maybe you don't like what's going on, but you're still in the need of something, some encouragement. And we want to talk to you about that. I want to say something specifically, because I know we've talked about the energy shift. We talked about the saying no. We've even talked about the stillness. And I'm a shoot this over to both you, Veronica, and you, Nikita. What did you have to say out loud to yourself? Or even, I don't want to say have to. What did you say out loud to yourself, or even in those quiet spaces, to keep yourself motivated to push through the difficult times?
For me, they are watching. They meaning my children, right? My husband, to know exactly what was required of him to support his wife during those times. But for me, as they are watching, I have generational curses to break. It starts with me. There are certain things that I cannot, will not, refuse to pass along to my children because my ass got unresolved stuff.
Thanks.
How you gonna expect your 9-year-old daughter Veronica and your 3-year-old son, specifically your 9-year-old daughter, right? Because she's a mirror. How do you expect her to regulate her emotions? Huh? How? When you got some stuff you need to unlearn. They are watching, right? So if I'm going through a hard time, they see it, but not only do they see it, they feel it. They are of me, right? They talk about that when you are pregnant with your children, that part of their blood enters your bloodstream and never leaves. And you have that spiritual connection with them, but you also clearly have that physical connection. So when I am not feeling myself, I can even try to hide it. And that baby girl comes in my face. What's wrong, mommy? What's going on? Gladius, are you sad? Right? Are you happy right now? Ooh. So if they're watching, what is it that I need to teach them, right? Not to say that you don't endure pain and that you don't endure sadness, but what is required of you, Veronica, their mother, to show them healthy ways to deal with it. So baby girl, yes, I'm crying because I need to get this out. My mother always told me crying is a release and cleansing of your body. You need to cry, go ahead and cry. But I had to tell myself they're watching, so you don't have a choice. You don't have the liberties to sit there and soak there. No. You can deal with it for a little bit. Go ahead in your little closet if you need to. But the way you come on up out of there, they need to see something different.
I love that.
And for me, you know, Concrete Rose herself, I too am a generational curse breaker. And I've gone through some very, very hard moments. Many of you might be familiar with my backstory. I was a foster child, which made me a motherless child. So for a long time in the beginning, it was like, wow, I must not deserve. So as I got older, the conversation I began to have with myself is I am worthy of all of the love that I put out in return. I am worthy of it. Because for a long time I didn't. I'm so busy loving on everybody else, but when somebody turned around to try and love on me, boom, 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 boom. So part of me really rehearsing that I am worthy conversation with myself happened when my mother passed away suddenly during the pandemic. Because that's when, as you said, I felt my soul get snatched. That's my bestie right there. And she's not here to celebrate with me. But as the ancestors do speak, y'all, I could hear my mama saying to me, you are worthy. Get up. Yeah. Get up, reminding me of everything that I had worked so hard to achieve to the moment she left this side of life. I'm worthy of God's best for me in every area of my life. I am capable of breaking this generational curse over my family's life, so that my children and my grandchildren do not have to read those pages again. I'm worthy. And I couldn't move forward and create this platform. I couldn't move forward and write those words, revealing some of my deepest, darkest pain and publishing it in a book that would be read by millions until I believed I was worthy of God's protection. growing up in the church, sometimes you get those mixed messages, and you start to believe that because your life didn't pan out with the picture of perfection that church world likes to try and present, you stumble, you fall, you trip, but then you get back up with God's help. Somewhere along the lines, being a teenage mother out of wedlock, you get to hear those voices that try and convince you that you're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're now worthless because you stepped outside of this doctrinal belief system.
Yeah.
So that I am worthy became so powerful for me that it literally, Veronica, you just said it earlier in the show, it empowered me to go ahead and embrace the power of no.
Yes.
And I've shared some things off air with Karen. A lot of what y'all see happening here on the platform, and as I'm frolicking out through these entertainment and creative streets, a lot of that would not be happening had I not began to embrace that no, and take my power back and my energy back from pouring so much into others. Now is the season of me, baby. And anybody who knows me knows that we acknowledge God in all of our ways, whether they're good, bad, ugly, stank, gray, whatever. God is still with me. And he is going to guide me, and he is going to chastise me when I need it. I have a covering at all times. Yeah, I had to believe that I was worthy to walk in the light of God's love all by myself and be us. Great representation of what his joy really does look like to others.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This has been an amazing conversation. Hopefully you all are refreshed. For those who came in late, hey, Miss Angela, we love you. Don't worry. The replay is going to be here for you to snatch your entire life together, because I promise it is worth the rewatch. So if you've been hanging with us this far, we appreciate you. Thank you for those who will join us at a later time for the replay. We're going to look out for those comments for you to answer those questions, right? What do you receive? What have you received by saying the no's in your life? And understanding no is a complete sentence. We are well grown. We owe no one here on earth an explanation. Now, if you decide to give one, that's between you and thee, not me and anybody else. But it's an important time for us. Last week we were mourning the loss of D'Angelo, right? And the gifting that this man put upon us, right? He put that stank on us. Like literally, we get to come so much further because of the gift of music, the collaboration, the love that he shared for his craft. And I just love the celebration. I appreciate the fact that we got good music. We need to put some folks on repeat, because we truly understand the impact of that music. But it's always that reminder that tomorrow is not promised, right? We're talking about the loss of our moms and what that happened. See, the difference for me was the gifting of, we had 4 months of my mom being ill and sick. So I prepared myself for a goodbye. I understood in that time the favor that God put on me in that space was not the same favor as it showed up for other people, because I know so many people. And in that time, even in the last moment, it was like, well, not yet, Lord, you give her one more day. Cause it was, you praying them through Christmas, Lord, cause she had a heart attack and a stroke a week before Christmas. Well, Lord, just let her make it through Christmas. Lord, let her make it through the new year. And I remember that every time I said, Lord, if you could, if you would will, he did that thing, right? And then it came time where the Holy Spirit said, and now you got to let it go, girl, because that's it. That is it.
Mhm.
And I never thought, and it may be different for either of you, I never thought about my ancestors that way until my most immediate person became an ancestor. And it was like, go ahead, mama, run me all my stuff. Run me my stuff, because we gonna do it. Run me my stuff. Whatever sound out, you go ahead and do what the ancestors do. Gather everybody together. Y'all go ahead and have your electric slide, bus stop
Yeah.
moment, and then run me
Run it back.
up. Run it back. And we probably recognize and realize the lessons that are taught. So, Veronica, we appreciate you so much. I promise. I've been loving you.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm grateful for the person that God allows you to be transparent. You couldn't hide none of this stuff, I think, if you tried. I really,
No.
it is just ingrained in you to be the most transparent version of yourself. Whatever we get,
That's what it is.
that's what it's gonna be. And so
Yeah.
we appreciate you. We thank you that you did not count it robbery to come and spend some time with us. For all of the things. I know some folks were asking, what's the name of the book? Rosie's Gift.
Rosie's
special gift. Rosie's special gift.
Children's
Make
book.
sure y'all go in and see it. Listen, shout out to Marisol Girl Talk Nails. She just posted that she shared the book with some of the visitors that she had at her house. We ain't getting all in your business, but that just was an on-time warming thing. I was like,
I
yes.
love it.
Keep going. So we appreciate the artistry and all that you have. So we got one more thing that I want to talk about. And it's a little bit of a shift, but we said we wanted to talk about it because it's all of the things, we got a lot of stuff going on in the world. And October 11th is Banned Book Day. We have a Banned Book Week, but in October we do celebrate, right? And I'm not even sure if that's the right word, but we're gonna celebrate these banned books because I don't even that situation. And the advocate that you are, I would love to talk a little bit about kind of what our families can do to keep education a priority, to keep our storytelling and that craft in the face of our children, even while folks is around here banning many of our stories and narratives.
Yes. It's going to require research, right? Like the current administration is making it very hard to secure factual history because they are removing them from digital documentation. There is a resource that I will share with you. I will share the link so that you can share with the community on how to go to specific places and download things so that you still have them, right? So the first thing that I will say is that it is very important to ensure that the resources that are factually documented are available to your families. Many times that availability is going to come from maybe even local libraries, right? Sometimes those availabilities will also come from people having resources that will say, go buy this book for your families. Mm-hmm. Go and follow these authors and publishers who are consistently putting out information to combat the attempt to erase culturally significant literature, artifacts, stories of our people, right? Case in point, can anybody go to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. right now? As of the time of this recording, which is October 21st, 2026, the answer is no. Why? Because the government is shut down. And how is that museum funded? By the federal government. Therefore, the African American Museum is not open to the public. If you do not have access to that information, where are you learning it from? Right? So we got to go back to the storytellers. We got to go back to the historians. We have to go back to the colleges and universities where people are teaching Africana studies. They have access to these resources. They have libraries. You go into the digital files or the actual physical libraries on college campuses even. Many of them still allow for you to check out books to the general public. Go and find the information that you need, because guess what? Nobody gonna go give it to you. And even if they did, you shouldn't want it that freely anyway.
Ooh.
Right? So we have to protect our history. Some of y'all need to write some books. That documents your family history, your culture, and what it is that you've been brought up to know and learn. Ain't nobody says you have to publish it, but you can write the manuscript, right?
That's a word.
Follow the assignment. You can have it as a part of your family history. Put it in a binder. Tell the stories to your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, because guess what? We're at an age right now where the history, they're transitioning.
Yes.
Yes.
There's only so much our ancestors can tell us from the other side.
True.
That's a fact.
They're transitioning to the other side. How will we protect and also restore the history? I think about these things. I'm just like, oh, okay, so what do I need to do now to make sure that my daughter knows?
Yeah.
My son knows. So if we are going on family vacations, there's going to be a history lesson somewhere, somehow. We were just in Memphis. We went to the National Civil Rights Museum. My hunter had a meltdown in there. Do you hear me? She couldn't even handle the things that she was seeing because it was so heavy for her. And she's 9. And most folks will be like, oh, yeah. She said, take me out of here. Get me out of here right now. I said, baby, I know it's very uncomfortable for you right now to see this. I know that it hurts. I know that it is not something that you want to be in, but we are not leaving. We're not leaving right now. You want to come over here to the side? You need a hug? You need mommy to hold you? I cannot pretend that these things did not exist. And yes, 9 years old.
You have to start young. You have to. I shared a similar experience with LJ. A lot of people are celebrating the African American Museum that's run by the federal government, but I like to go down to the Great Blacks and Wax Museum down in Baltimore. And a lot of people have forgotten that place is there. So I took Linnea there. And then there's a basement situation they had going on where they take you to the alley. After she'd walk through the history that she wasn't taught in school. I said to her, it might be cheesy, but we're going to stop and we're going to read all this stuff. And she had questions. Yeah. And then she was by herself in her mind. And one thing she bought for herself from the souvenir shop was a covenant to herself. Which is basically a covenant to her own commitment to principled living to manifest her own greatness.
Yep.
So I understand how that baby was impacted because I had a child who was impacted the exact same way. By us owning the responsibility of making sure she knows the depths of her history, knowing that she wasn't born a slave, knowing that there is royal DNA running through her veins. It's in her bloodline.
Yeah.
Knowing who she is. So she know when I leave here, you still belong everywhere you stand, baby.
Everywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And after the fact, she said, I know that was hard, but I'm proud of you. She said, yeah, but I'm glad I got to see you.
Yeah.
We got to talk about things that are not so comfortable.
We have to.
And we have to tell the truth. That's the last thing I'll say. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Not even the truth. Tell the truth.
The truth. That's right. So our children Don't walk around here with this
Tell
false
truth.
idea of who they're supposed to be. Tell them the truth
That's a
so they
fact.
know how to turn those pages for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You know, family is important to all of us here on the platform. We build, we grow, we reflect, but we're here to leave a mark. And that's the most important thing. You know, when you said they are watching, I know that many of us have had those moments. Well, some of y'all don't care, but many of us care of the who is watching, right? When we know that our families have to know the stories, they have to know. And is it the school's responsibility? No, the school, they should be coming alongside as partners with us for what we've decided we want to instill in our children. And so we encourage all of you, get a book, read a book, write a doggone book. You can do it. I'm going to give a shout out to my eldest uncle who has now since passed on, and he wrote a chronicle called Chicken Bones on the Highway. Mm. And it was a story about how we would travel and my grandmother would cook and they would bring chicken when they'd ride up and down the highway.
Ah,
Wasn't stopping nowhere. You wasn't stopping at the Five and Dime. Waffle House wasn't a thing. You wasn't
no.
going to Smithfield's. You ain't going to Bojangles or Popeyes. You got grandma's chicken, and where them chicken bones end up on the highway. So these stories it's not, I just truly believe this. We don't have to always think that our stories have to be a New York bestseller.
Right.
So I thank you for saying that. Like, just write the manuscript. That
Sometimes it's just
only the family. Nobody
Right.
else saw chicken bones on the
Exactly.
highway except for us. Now we laughed. It was like, what? Okay,
Keep
all right.
it.
But we
Preserve it though. We have to preserve our stories.
facts.
We need these stories, right?
We
So
know
we
the
have something
story.
to reference so that our great greats have something to reference.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, Tilted. I feel like I'm gonna take a moment
You
as
gonna
I
take
as I go over all my notes. Because if y'all ain't taking notes, y'all weren't really paying attention. I'm just gonna put you out there on blast. I'm over here, got notes. God bless Marisol. I'm trying to operate with these beautiful nails, and I'm like, oh wait, type something here, write something there. I'm multitasking over here. But I thank you so much, Veronica. Now, can you tell our audience how they can either connect to you or get in connection or stay in connection with all of the wonderful things that you're doing, that your family is doing for family business, as well as your individual ventures?
Absolutely. You can follow us at The Taste Smokers on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook, Veronica Moore. You can follow me on Instagram, author Veronica H. Moore, or Brown Skin Plant Mama, where I'm talking about all things plant therapy and wellness. We ain't get into that today. That's another time, but you can follow me there to understand how plant therapy can shift your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being for the good. And if you want to have more intimate conversations, you can email me at veronica@veronicahmoore.com. And I look forward to interacting with you all.
Love it,
Thank you so
love
much
it,
for
love it.
having me.
Love it. Tilted. I heard a repeat visit. That's what I heard.
Yeah, she just gave y'all the segue for part 2 of the
Okay.
conversation with Veronica Moore, because there's so much we can discuss with you, beautiful. And I absolutely want to get into Rosie's special gift, because there's a grounding aspect I really want to dive into.
Yeah.
With
We can
you.
get back to our real notes and agenda on the second visit, because we didn't expect for all them words to happen. Listen,
They had hope they had their passports and they put some stamps in
Tell
it.
them. Tell them.
We took a journey, as we
Really
often do at Unhinged Live. So thank you, Veronica, because you dropped many a nugget, and hopefully those nuggets, the seeds you dropped tonight, take root, and they restore hope to people who believe that they couldn't do it again. Some of us are at a big age and we try and convince ourselves that it's too late. A whole lot of what you shared, Veronica, a whole lot of what Veronica shared tonight, y'all, if y'all was listening, was a subtle reminder that you can do it too. You know, we over here some queen ages and we're still celebrating a whole lot of firsts in all of our lives.
Yes.
So get it done. Hop to it. Okay. Or as Aretha said, jump to it.
Hey.
Yeah. You got to jump to it if you want to really want to do it. So before we go ahead and segue into the next part of the show, I got to take some time and personally acknowledge some folks I've seen popping up in these comment sections. And I see you, beautiful Chrissy. I see you, girl. And I see you too, beautiful Beige and Rhonda. Our good girlfriend, Emily. I see you, Emily. And photographer extraordinaire, Justin Lofton. Thank you so much for stopping by. And then my boy from around the way, Shaquille. I saw you, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoy what you hear and you come on back and you tell quite a few friends about the empowering conversations that we're having here at Unhinged Live. Thank you again for tuning in. Now get ready. Get ready for one of my favorite segments of the show, y'all. That's right. I hope you still have your notepads and your pens and your pencils. Maybe you're writing with a crayon on or a marker on this evening. But get ready to receive yet another on-time ready word from our very own in-house certified master life coach, Coach Cash, y'all, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC, with this week's reflection of purpose. We keeping your lifetime fine, and ain't too many more that can do it better. Coach Cash, take it away.
Listen, I appreciate the opportunity to have these conversations this evening. Y'all know I always come with the title, tonight's title, Faith Endurance. So I want to remind you, right? I don't always come with a scripture, but this one just kind of hit me in a different way. So to talk about what is faith endurance? Well, it means maintaining that unwavering faith, right? That belief, the trust and obedience to God, despite the trials, despite the obstacles, despite all of the things that come around. And so that scriptural reference, Hebrews 12, a little bit of 1 and 2, let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. I can't run your race. You can't run mine. Looking unto Jesus. And then in James chapter 1, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And so I want to remind you that as we're thinking about how do we build that faith endurance? Well, there's resiliency in trusting. We got to stand firm, right? When promises seem like it's like, we just talked about, many of us disqualify ourselves for the thing. You got to switch it around. And I know we saw one note where Rhonda even asked, like, how do I get that business mindset? Well, it starts with what you tell yourself first. First, it starts with that. It's about what you think. It's about the energy you keep. But that faith endurance is so very necessary for us. Why? Because we got work to do. We've got things that we have to put our hands to. But we've also got to be obedient to the action items that are connected to the purpose that is in our life. And I challenge you all that if you don't know the answer to what is your purpose here in this universe, right? I didn't even say on earth, in this universe, what is your purpose? If you don't know the answer to that, then much of what we talked about tonight is foreign. You don't even know where to go from there. But when you think about what it is for you to do, we talked about meditation. We talked about faith journaling. Stay tuned. You're going to be getting some things from me from that. Practicing having an attitude of gratitude, making sure that you've got that community support for people who, even if you don't believe in yourself 100%, get you some people who are able to support you and tell you you're amazing until you believe it for yourself. See, that is how you stretch your faith. That's how you get that faith endurance to get you to the end space that you need to be. It's important for us during this time that we understand that the things that have been assigned to us, it's right now for them. So literally being able to say the words, right? Making sure that you're saying the word. My faith stands firm through every storm. I trust God's timing. Even when I don't understand it, even when I'm like all the way down on a roller coaster ride, right? Delay is not denial. God is still working, even when it seems like the curtain is closed. And remember, I can run and not grow weary. We got to make sure that we understand faith endurance is very necessary during this time. Make sure that you're keeping connected with us, because we're going to keep feeding you. We're going to keep encouraging you. We're going to keep pushing you forward. Why? Because as always, I tell you, we need for you to get to the completion of that goal. Because what are we here for? We here for the cake, and we cannot get to the cake until and unless we endure all that we are doing and allow for God's best to be our portion while we endure in such a wonderful way. So practice your strengthening powers for your faith endurance. Tilty?
Thank you so much for reminding us to have that faith endurance. And it's awesome. Again, as you said, tap in. Because the race wasn't given to the swift or the strong, but to the one who endures unto the end, right? So listen, I got to give you all that wonderful Just Be outro. And I really don't have much to add because so many bombs was dropped, not just nuggets, just bombs dropped on tonight. So I just come with a gentle reminder as we close this session on this evening to just be. And the funny thing about allowing yourself to just be, you can be whatever it is you desire to be, because you have the power to script your day with the words you say. So as you wake up in the morning, just be mindful and just be bold in embracing that you will be successful. Just be successful if that's what you want to do. If you want to be fabulous, just be fabulous. And put on some of them snuffleupagus eyelashes if that's what you need to do to get there. Go on and just be fabulous, honey. And if you just want to be regular degular, go ahead and put on that old faded sweatsuit and walk around in comfort with your hat pulled down low so nobody can really recognize it's you while you out there in the street. Just be whatever you're purposed to be for the day. Because I promise you, every encounter, every place you go, somebody is going to need what it is you got to give. Just be. You may not be for everybody, but I promise you, you are, for a whole lot of folks. So why not let your little light shine and continue to just be? Listen, this is Unhinged Live, y'all. And I've been tremendously blessed by tonight's conversation. Y'all can't see her, but I can see that our guest is still in the green room just hanging out. And I see the beautiful smile on. Hey, girl.
Hey.
You
I was like, listen, what am I supposed to do? Okay, here's just calling me. Let me go real quick.
I was like, no, you ain't got to go. I told you we're more than welcome to stay to the very end. And since you pop back on, I love to give you the honor of giving the closing statement for tonight's conversation.
Oh, I love that. Well, listen, I want to remind you all to consider who you are to yourselves, right? Consider who you are to yourselves, first and foremost, to allow for you to serve other folks. When you are diligent and make yourself a priority to heal, to resolve, to celebrate, to recognize, to feel all of the things that you are worthy of feeling, I promise you, there will be something lifted. That heavy weight, that heavy burden, right? Whatever is holding you down, allow yourselves to be free. There is so much reward from being free.
Mm, yes, that's right. And thank you so much. You heard her. Just be free, y'all. This is Unhinged Live, and we'll be back at it next week with the tribe. You know, the people that showed up in green on the scene. Listen, love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. And my dear friends, it is a wrap. Until next time.